Back. He is back now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of
Once
course.
more.
Yeah. So we have actually seen a lot of people, like we talked about, they are coming back in there to the polls, kind of towards as everybody is ending work so far. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about these elections. Wrap up really quickly. Why is it so important for people that they came out to have their voice heard?
I think it's most important that people understand the votes that took place today and during early voting will impact them at their kitchen table.
Yes.
When you open your door, you will see that difference in terms of what is being done with the newly elected officials.
So let's talk about the decisions that were made at the local level. Like, how do they kind of affect us all before Washington does?
So you look at things like local taxes that could be levied against us. You look at growth and development. You look at the Scout plant, for example, that is, I mean, it looks like an airport out there, but you look at projects like that. You look at policing and public safety. These are issues that impact you immediately. Sidewalks, bus stops, expansion or contraction of our transit system. These things impact us daily.
And that's really what we're kind of seeing right now, is that is what is driving a lot of people to the polls too. So as the votes kind of come in, how should we interpret those numbers?
You know, they haven't come in as yet.
Right.
It's going to take a little while, but just depending on where the bulk of the votes came from, it'll take a little bit of analysis on the back end to take a look. But when I looked at some of the early voting, some of the inner city neighborhoods did vote at a high level. So I'm interested to see what happens there. I know there has been a lot of talk about what's going on in District 1. So that those neighborhoods are directly impacted by that, those things.
And so for us, is there any kind of misconceptions that you think that maybe people might have when it comes to like those early returns and early voting, stuff like that?
Not really. I mean, you could kind of take some data from them, but you really won't know until Election Day what happens. You know, we've got a lot of folks in the Midlands that work, you know, just daily. So they're not off of work until 3 or 4, so they can't get to the polls until a little bit later.
And one thing that we do want to mention, that polls are obviously still open. It is currently 6:40 on the dot.
20 minutes.
So they still have 20 minutes. But again, as we've been mentioning, if you go right now and get to your polls, you can still vote. But I do want to ask you, for people, why is it so important to make sure to be patient, right?
It's your vote.
Yeah.
Your vote matters. And just be patient. You know, we live in a instant gratification type of society.
Yes, very true.
But just be patient with your vote and watch as they come in, watch the results, but more importantly, hold your elected officials accountable.
Yeah, as we wrap up this chat for tonight, let's talk about, I love what you were mentioning throughout our tall talk, is this does not end with tonight. No matter who becomes in office, it is now our duty to go and talk to them, right?
That's the beginning. It's the beginning of a 4-year term. So you've got 4 years to work with these individuals to make a difference in your immediate life. I challenge all of our viewers and listeners to get active. You should have exercised your right to vote, but what are you going to do tomorrow and moving forward to hold your elected officials accountable?
That's right, exactly. What are you going to do tomorrow? And you could have impacted it there today. Yes. Any final thoughts as we kind of wrap up with 20 minutes left here for voting? Again, the election results are not in just yet. Of course, the polls are still open. So, but kind of your final thoughts in this takeaway for the past, 24 hours.
Big for me, if you are in line, stay in line.
Yes.
But most importantly, be patient. And again, I just have to reiterate the fact that these elected officials work for you. As their constituent. So I want everybody under the sound of our voices to really get engaged. We've got a lot going on in D.C. That may, well, it's beginning to impact us now, but stay vigilant. Just stay engaged and make sure that your vote counts and matters, and that you hold your elected officials accountable for what they said they were going to do for the past couple months.
That's also very true. Make sure they are holding up their end of the
Yes.
bargain on in there. We appreciate you so much for coming in the past pretty much 24 hours, coming in and giving us your insight there. You have been such a treat, and we really do appreciate you. And again, I love what he's been mentioning this entire time. What is going to impact you at the kitchen table?
Exactly.
That's how you do it. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
for
me.
the past couple of times. We appreciate you. As always, we are going to put this interview on our website, WLTX.com.